Hello my friends and welcome. Thank you for joining me. This is David HaIvri. I am sharing virtual tours all around the land of Israel, and I will make a point to share details about accessibility for people with mobility limitations and older people, just to let you know if these sites are accessible, have easy parking, short walks to the site, if there are restrooms and water and shaded areas. So you can expect to hear information about that in my coming virtual tours and in this tour as well. Today I'm going to be speaking about Armon HaNatziv, which is a scenic panoramic promenade in the southern part of Jerusalem, where you can see all of the old city and many parts of the city of Jerusalem. You can see the city of David, you can see the western side of the city, the hotels, the King David Hotel, the center of the city, the walls of the old city of Jerusalem. You can just see a huge view of the entire area of Jerusalem, and with the old city in the center, the Temple Mount. It's a very worthwhile place to visit when you're in Jerusalem at some point, possibly at the beginning of your visit, to get an overview of the city of Jerusalem, just to take that in and understand the geography and history of the area. Standing at Armon HaNatziv, we could speak for hours about all of the different places that we see. There is nearby parking. Nearby means that it's just a few meters walk from the parking, if there is a parking spot. But if you have a bus or a driver, he could let you off, and it's a very short walk to the viewpoint. It is accessible. You can reach all points of the promenade with using a wheelchair if you are limited, or a cane. You don't need to walk too much to get from the parking spot to the spot where you see the entire area. It's a very beautiful park. There is shaded area. There are restrooms, public restrooms on either side of the park that are maintained by the city, and they are clean and open. There's drinking water, and there's shaded area for you to sit down and enjoy the view. The city has even installed two pianos. If you play the piano, or if one of your group members is a musician, you could enjoy the music there. And sometimes there are other people or Israelis who come by and use the piano, and you can enjoy the music there. So that was a short, I'll tell you about the name Armon HaNatziv. Armon HaNatziv in Hebrew means the palace of the High Commissioner. In the 1930s, when Israel was under the control of the British Mandate, the High Commissioner for Palestine of the British Mandate, his palace was at Armon HaNatziv. That building has since been transferred over to the United Nations, so it is a United Nations compound. But that name, the Armon HaNatziv, means the palace of the High Commissioner. The Arabs, in Arabic, they call this place Jabal Mukabar. Jabal is a hill, and Mukabar is named for the first Islamic troops who came to conquer the land of Israel in the year 680. I think it was 680, 670. When they first reached Jerusalem, coming from the south, at this hill, when they could see the display of the entire old city of Jerusalem, they called out, Allah Akbar, God is greater. And for that reason, this hill has become known by the Arabs as Jabal Mukabar. It's interesting to me that there's a very similar story with the Crusader conquest of Jerusalem. Just at the north of Jerusalem, there is a hill that is called, a site that is called Nebi Samuel, the burial place of Samuel the prophet, Shmuel HaNavi. Nebi Samuel. And that is a high mountain to the north of Jerusalem. That is known as the first place that the Crusader troops arrived when they came to conquest Jerusalem. And they, at that place, cried out in joy. So the Christians call that mountain the Mountain of Joy for that reason. So it's very interesting that in the north of Jerusalem there's a mountain that has a name, a tradition, according to the Christians, because from that site the Christian troops first saw Jerusalem when they conquered Jerusalem in the 11th century. And on this side there is a Muslim Islamic tradition of the Islamic troops who conquered Jerusalem, and they too shouted out that God is great when they reached this mountain and they could see the city of Jerusalem. So that was a short about Armon HaNatziv, panoramic viewpoint of the city of Jerusalem. I hope that you enjoyed this. I look forward to hearing your comments, and stay tuned for the next editions of David Ha'ivri's virtual tours in the land of Israel. Shalom.